If you live in Thailand, you've probably heard about the new Thai tax law. And if you're planning to live in Thailand, you probably need to hear about the new Thai tax law. In this video, I'm going to break down the proposed changes and answer 6 key questions you might have about the law. What is the proposed law? How will it affect foreigners living in Thailand? Will the proposal become law? What are some steps you can take to protect yourself? And should you reconsider living in Thailand? The Thai government's made a proposal which aims to close a loophole that's existed for about 40 years. Under the law, foreign earned income was not taxed as long as you bring it back into Thailand in the following year. It means that you could earn $1 million in 2022 in foreign income, and as long as you wait until 2023, you can bring it into Thailand and pay 0 taxes. And this is a pretty clear loophole that's used by wealthy people to avoid paying taxes here in the country. And the proposed change means that any income brought into the country at any time will be taxed in accordance with Thai income tax rates. Thailand has a progressive income tax which peaks at 35%, which is a lot higher than 0. And that change is set to take effect on January 1st, 2024, which is a very short period of time after it was announced in September. And the law will apply to all tax residents here in Thailand, which includes all foreigners who are living here for more than 180 days per year, as you are considered a tax resident. And if you stay in Thailand for under 180 days, this law won't affect you. The good news is that Thailand has double tax treaties with 61 countries, and that includes most Western countries. And that means that income that's already been taxed in your home country cannot be taxed again when it's brought into Thailand, and this includes savings that are derived from previously taxed income. Now, it's likely that the target of this proposal is wealthy Thais who keep their money in foreign offshore accounts. But that doesn't mean that foreigners won't get caught in the crossfire with this haphazard implementation. The main question that arises is, how will the government go about actually collecting taxes? Paying taxes requires you to have a tax identification number or a TIN, and chances are, if you haven't worked in Thailand, you probably don't have one. Will residents be required to register for a TIN and then collect all of the paperwork associated with all of their previous earnings in their home country in order to be exempt from this tax? Or will Thai banks be required to collect a blanket tax on any foreign transfers into the country? And who's going to do all this excess paperwork? What processes would be used? There are way more questions than answers, and having come from a policy background in the Canadian government, this type of reform would take a long time to implement correctly, and that's even in the most efficient of government bureaucracies. So will the law actually change? The law itself isn't very radical. It brings Thailand in line with most tax laws in developed countries, which, let's be serious, a lot of people are trying to escape when they move to Thailand. But it means that it probably will pass. And this haphazard approach is fairly typical for policy making here in Thailand. And unfortunately, convenience for foreigners living here is pretty much a non-existent factor when it comes to Thai policy making. Anybody who's lived here long enough knows the total headaches that get thrown at foreigners pretty randomly for no apparent reason. TM30, anyone? The TM30 is a law that requires landlords to inform the government when you have left the country and returned to the country, and that policy shift came out of nowhere. The application didn't work, and I had more than a few friends who had to move out of their condos mid-lease because their landlord simply refused to do the TM30. So if you think the government's going to go out of its way to avoid foreigners being burdened, it's probably the opposite. The government often goes out of its way to add additional burdens for foreigners living here in the country. And the policy contradictions can be fairly mind-boggling. Has the government considered how this type of policy might negatively impact its efforts to attract wealthy foreign investors and residents? How about its attempts to market the country as a digital nomad hub? This total lack of policy clarity is not a great signal for foreign investment in the country generally. But the timing is interesting. The Thai baht has been very weak lately, and that's in part due to election promises, the 10,000 baht digital wallet giveaway, and the government faces significant fiscal challenges with all this spending. And this sudden move actually leaves wealthy Thais with a few months to repatriate huge sums of money if they want to avoid paying taxes on it. And repatriating money involves moving that money from offshore dollar-based accounts back into Thailand and the Thai baht. And this supports the value of the Thai baht and thus supports the fiscal programs of this government. And for those of you considering moving to Thailand, this is the type of policy making that you have to expect and get used to if you plan to live here. So should this single issue cause you to rethink any plans to move to Thailand, I'd hold off on making any decisions and see what happens. And if you're looking to protect yourself, you can definitely move some money into Thailand before that January 1st, 2024 deadline, especially if you have upcoming requirements for a retirement or a marriage visa in your Thai bank account. And of course, you'll help the government shore up the value of the baht with that transfer. And for digital nomads and remote workers who already face significant challenges in the visa department, if you live in the country for under 180 days, you are not treated as a tax resident, and you can divide your time between Thailand and another country in order to avoid having tax resident status. I cover how you can do that in my video about multiple entry visas, so you should check it out. The link's in the description.